Today we talk about the One Ring and all the stuff that's going on with it.
Waffles in the morning, syrup sweet and slow. Golden stacks are rising, sunrise in the glow. Sticky choice so grand, breakfast on demand. Smile and take my hand in Waffle Wonderland.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wafflecast. So today we're going to be talking about the One Ring. I'm going to break it down as far as we're going to talk about like the potential banning of it. They are going to do an announcement of banned and restricted on December 16th. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about TCG sales. We're going to talk about my thoughts on what I think is going to happen, and also a caveat on what I think should happen, but I don't know if Wizards actually going to do it. So getting into it, I did a lot of research before I started to record right now, right? And so I went through and I looked, and this is late Monday night, the 9th, right? So when you watch this video, it'll be the 11th, Wednesday. But I went and looked, and there's over 800 listings of the One Ring. Now, this takes into account the poster, the pre-release, the scrolls, extended surge, extended, regular, and bundle version, right? And the reason being is because I was trying to see what versions were going to be offloaded the most, which ones had the most listings. Obviously, the cheapest versions, which is the ones that people are going to grab to play in modern tournaments and things like that, or in their commander decks, whatever, are going to have the higher majority. So the regular version, there was 260 listings at 546 over like total amount, like quantity of them in those listings. So, you know, most sellers have one of, there's a couple sellers that have multiples, things like that. That's why it's 546 of the quantity. And then the bundle, the Lord of the Rings bundle version, which is like a borderless foil version, there was 261 listings with a quantity of 636. So that makes up like, I think it was like 60 to 65% of the listings and quantity on there. So for listing wise, it was about 60%. Quantity wise, it's about 65%, I want to say. But it was a total of, there's over 1,700 versions. Not versions, 1,700, why am I messing this up? Quantity. There's over 1,700 One Rings being sold on TCG, right? This is mind-boggling to try to figure out, I guess, for my brain. And about 1,200 of those quantities are the regular and the Lord of the Rings bundle one. Right? And so one of the things I found interesting, so we're going to look at the bundle sales first. And if you look at the image I have on the screen here, right? This first image shows the 261 listings. And there's a 4 of, a 2 of, a 2 of, a 5 of, and a 3 of right there in the first 5 listings. But also, it's really interesting to see a lot of the 0% like feedback rating. So either A, these people don't get a lot of feedback, or B, they don't have a ton of sales. So you can see that first person has 3 sales, another person with 18 sales, and then the other ones are, 100 sales, 108 sales. Then we go to the next page, right? And it's 0%, 3 sales, 0%, 2 sales, 96% and 118 sales, 0%, 51 sales, 0%, 10 sales, with another 1, 1, 1, 4, and 1 of. This right here shows me that there are a lot of players, a lot of modern players, and some potential commander players probably mixed in there, but a lot of modern players trying to offload this because they feel that the ban hammer is coming for this thing. And so if we go into the regular version, you're going to see here we have 260 listings, right? This one's a little bit different. I mean, there are a couple sellers from the bundle version on here, like Denis Games. I saw him on the other one. You look back, 0%, 3 sales. There's another one, 0%, 14 sales. And then, we've got a couple other, smaller sales. There is one in there with over 3,000 sales. But then we go to this next page here, same thing. Another one was 0% with 23 sales. And so very little of these beginning, like the first page of sales and second page of sales, has these, like this one here with Unplugged Games. It doesn't have a lot of sellers with, 10,000 or more sales in those first couple pages. So to me, that shows a lot of modern competitive players and or maybe pseudo casual, maybe jump into some modern tournament play or whatever, are offing their copies. They are getting rid of them. They feel the ban hammer is coming, and they're trying to get as much as they can value-wise out of them before they leave, before they just go to zero. But they're not going to go to zero. And I'll get into that, why I think they're not going to, in a second. But I found it quite interesting that if you look back in August, September, right, these two versions were selling at over $100 a piece. The bundle version was about $101 where it topped out, and the regular version at $118. So each of these versions are down $50 to $60, okay? That's 50 to 60%. And a lot of people are predicting they're going to come down even further by the time Monday ban announcement comes out, okay? Now, I'm going to be 100% transparent. I did buy 2 copies. Before I got on here and started making this video, I literally bought 2 Lord of the Ring bundle versions so that I can throw one into a commander deck, because I've been wanting one for my Urza commander deck for a while, but I wasn't going to pay $100 for one. Now, paying $100 for 2 of them after tax and everything, I'm okay with, because if this thing goes back up because there's no ban hammer, I'm sitting on $200 worth of value for $100. But that's my own personal look at this, right? And even if they get banned, right, they're still playable in Vintage, they're still playable in Legacy, they're still playable in Commander. The other formats besides Modern that they will be legal in. That's why I still think it's a good investment to buy, because I don't believe they will ban it in Commander. If they do ban it in Modern, I don't think they'll ban it in Commander. And the reason being is, this is the flagship card for Lord of the Rings. I mean, Post Malone has the one of one ring at $2.6 million, and the dude loves, I think it was like 2.1, 2.6, somewhere in there. Paid a ridiculous amount of money, regardless. And he loves Commander. And if he is playing that card in his Commander deck, which I don't know if he really is, I doubt it, because it is graded, so I don't think he broke it out of the grade. But the point being, I'm sure he has other copies of the One Ring. I don't think they're going to destroy it out of Commander, right? And if it isn't already restricted, which I don't think it is, usually Vintage Legacy, it gets restricted. So with that, I believe that if we were to make a change in Modern, right, for the One Ring, here's my caveat, right? You don't ban it out completely. You restrict it to 1. It is the One Ring. I think it would be such a flavoritistic win for both sides, for the people that are crying for the ban and people that don't want it banned. I think if you were WotC and you're like, how do we make everyone happy? In a way that both sides have to kind of compromise in a way. I think if they came out and they're just like, okay, we're going to restrict the One Ring to 1 copy per deck in Modern, I think it's a win for everybody, because the card's still legal. Yes, it is reduced down to 1, but it reduces the power level of the decks that play that and doesn't make the format so stagnant and so oppressed by this card. Now, if they don't ban it, I believe, and I've seen a couple other YouTubers like MTG Moxman and a couple others that have talked about this. I do believe that if they don't ban it, just like they were saying, that there is some kind of power level creep that is coming to try to push it out or push it to where it's not as oppressive. So my overall opinion of this, and now this is my opinion, right? I am not saying that you should go spend your money and buy all these and blah, 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 anything like that. This is not a financial guru channel to tell you how to make money. This is my own personal opinion, right? Disclaimer. I do think right now is an opportune time to buy it. Like I said, I bought 2 copies to hold on to now that I can actually get a hold of a couple at a reasonable price. I did miss out on the Lord of the Rings bundles and things like that, but I do believe that this is an opportune time to buy these cards if you have been waiting for them. And some people will tell you, well, if you are going to buy them, you should wait till the ban. I don't want to wait till then for one of 2 reasons, right? One, if the ban does happen, there is going to be a quick dip and then a turnaround. There is going to be a ton of people with the same understanding and knowledge of knowing, hey, still played in Commander, still played in Legacy. It is still going to go back up. And I do believe we will see a bounce quite quickly after everyone panic sells. Yes, you may be able to jump in and get them at like maybe 30, maybe 35, somewhere in there. I don't think they'll dip below 30 if there is an announcement for a ban. But the other thing, this is the other reason why I don't want to wait, is because if I wait until, let's say, Sunday or Monday, right? Monday the ban comes out and there's some sitting there for, let's say, $35, $40, and I buy 3 or 4 of them. I don't know how many of you are going to try to do that and then have your order canceled because the person, the seller, because like I showed, there's a lot of low sales sellers right now. And we've seen this before where people panic sell or they're trying to get something going, whatever, and then orders get canceled. They mysteriously don't arrive, all kinds of different stuff like that. So I'm going to tell you right now, when I bought my copies, I did not buy from somebody that was not it wasn't verified, things like that. Yes, I did pay a little bit more, but I'm doing that to make sure that if for some reason something happens, this person is a highly recommended sales, they're on the TCG Direct, all that other stuff, it will give me a better chance to actually get my order if there is no ban and they decide to try to pull the plug on. Now, again, nothing is for certain, nothing's 100%, but I tried to give and that's another reason why I bought tonight, which is about a week before the ban. So by then, the processing should take place, the order should go through, it should get shipped out, hopefully by the end of the week. And then I don't have to worry about any of the shenanigans of, oh, your order got canceled or anything like that. Yes, I am not hitting the bottom, but I'm also not going to try to wait and take my chances with it. So that is how I am dealing with this. I'm kind of like with Moxman on this. I'm about 60-40 as well. I'm 60% sure they will not ban this card. But if, I do see the reasons why they might ban the card. The format is being oppressed by this card. But at the same time, even if it does get banned, still playable in Commander, still playable in Legacy, still playable in Vintage. The card will creep up over time. Yes, it may not shoot to the highs that it was immediately, but you give it 2, 3, 4 years, it'll climb back up to 60, 70, $80 a card. Now, that doesn't keep them from reprinting it, but the licensing agreement does run out soon. So I do believe, because Lord of the Rings came out in, I think it was July, it was either June or July of 23, and it was a 2-year licensing agreement. So I do believe that licensing agreement ends either June or July of 2025. So if they do come out with some kind of specialty product, maybe they do a re-release of some Lord of the Rings or something, but a majority of the sealed product has been sold out of their stocks and everything. Whatever's floating around, about 99% of what's floating around has already been sold through distributors and things like that. So, but yeah, those are my thoughts. If what do you guys think? Do you guys think it'll get banned? Do you think it not get banned? Leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear what you think. Are you going to purchase any of these? Are you going to wait to see if the banning happens? Are you holding copies of it? I mean, it's an interesting topic right now. But like I said, I don't believe that it will be banned. Now, is there reason for it to be? Absolutely. But I don't think it will. I think WotC is going to come out. They're going to say, hey, you know what? This is what's going on. And have a nice day. That's basically what's going to happen. They may come up with some BS TLDR of why they didn't ban it. And a lot of people are going to be upset. And then a lot of people are going to be happy. But I think, like I said, the only way to really make both sides come to a compromise and both kind of get what they want is restricting it to one in Modern. I mean, if you take it down and you leave it as a one-of copy, those decks that play it, their power level drops, and it makes it to where the format isn't as oppressive. Now, obviously, if you ban it, those decks, the power level of those decks also drop. But I think it still allows for people to play it in the format and still, have some reason to hold on to the card. And I also think that if they do restrict it to one, you will see a bounce in price. And I believe right now with the bundle sitting down at $43.16 as a market price, I do believe that would bounce back to probably $60, $65 within a day or two. But those are my thoughts. That's what I see about this. Again, I'd love to hear what you guys think. Do you think it'll get banned? Do you think it should be banned? I know there's people out there that have been crying for the ban hammer since the last banned announcement. So, but with that, I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I hope you guys got something out of this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this kind of content, let me know down below. Say, hey, I really like when you break this stuff down. I like that you did the research for me because I didn't want to do it. Things like that. It helps me be able to produce really good content for you guys. It allows me to see what you guys are interested in, all the different things. Because if you guys don't know, it takes a lot of work to make these videos. Even these simple where I just talk to you videos. It does take some time. I mean, yeah, you can't really see. Yeah, I go through, I scour TCG, I scour the internet, I look things up, and I'm just bringing the information to you. So with that, I'm gonna leave you like I always do. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, stay syrupy, my friends.
Waffles in the morning, syrup